Good morning, everyone, and welcome to this morning's event. I'm Adam Weatherly. I'm the Head of Learning and Development at the Irish SME Association, and you're all very welcome this morning. Thanks for joining us so punctually. We're delighted to be partnering with Google for this morning's event. The plan is to offer a series of live training sessions exclusive to ISME members to help you learn how to grow and enhance your online presence. Throughout the webinar series, you'll hear from expert Google speakers about the different tools and resources available to help you get your business visible online, understand search engine optimization, grow your business in new markets, and of course, a lot more. The Google speakers will be providing hands-on support and answering your questions live. So I encourage you to take part in the live chat to take full advantage of their knowledge and insights this morning. We know that this type of training is hugely valuable to businesses, particularly in the current climate, and we're committed to helping your business adapt and thrive by operating online. The partnership is highly strategic and in line with our Back to Business initiative. It's an initiative that was developed by ISME, speaking to the membership, you, on what challenges you face during the difficult times that we've had over the last 8 months and as we progress into 2021, which will, of course, will have its own individual challenges different from 2020. These events have been brought to you free of charge. It's a way of us saying thank you for your continued support during these difficult times. I'd like to also say thank you to Google for bringing these events to our membership and for making doing business together, making it easy for us to be able to do so. I'd like you to cast your minds back to the end of last year, a time where we could roam freely and meet each other. But at the tail end of October 2019, the OECD produced a report for Irish businesses to adopt an 11-point action plan. We got behind 5 of the key points in our training and development initiatives. The 5 points, some of them were ones that will be very familiar to you. There's internationalization, addressing the productivity issues that we have, and of course, another one being digitalization. I just mentioned earlier that attending these events today will help you with your products and services and new markets. And so internationalization and digitalization are deeply entwined. So if COVID has a silver lining, it's made us all sit up and adopt digitalization. But it's also still something that we don't know an awful lot about. So these series of events, which we will continue into 2021, will help you become competitive and look at new markets, help your manage your staff through the use of digital applications and social media. So I'd like to say thank you to all of you for your continued support once again. I'd like to introduce you to your digital strategy consultant, Niall McLaughlin. Thank you, and I hope you enjoy this morning.
Thank you, Adam, for that fantastic introduction to the series. And folks, I'm delighted to welcome you to this training session this morning on how to get found on search and maps with Google My Business specifically, in partnership with the Irish SME Association. And it really is a privilege for us here at Google to be partnering with you on this. Before we kick off, I'd like to take a couple of minutes just to introduce myself and explain, I suppose, the session objectives and what we want to get out of today. So, as I said, Niall is my name, and I'm a trainer for Google's digital skills training program, the Google Digital Garage, as we call it. So, a little bit about myself. My day job, as Adam alluded to, is as a digital strategy consultant, and I've been in Google for about 4 years now. But who's counting? I'm currently specializing in lead generation. But previously, I would have worked with some of the largest online retail brands in the UK as an e-commerce account manager. Now, prior to joining Google, I started my career in marketing within the sports betting industry, and that was followed by a year in medical sales within the US. Outside of work, you can often find me watching my favorite sports teams lose more often than not, unfortunately. I'd also like to introduce you to our moderator and my partner in crime today, Annie. Annie is an absolute rock star, and she's also a Google Digital Garage coach, and she'll be interacting with you and answering some of your questions via the instant chat to the right of your screen there. And you can identify Annie, of course, by her name, as well as a little blue spanner next to her icon. Now, there is a lot of content to get through today, and some feedback that we have got whenever we have ran sessions like this in the past. Is that, it is quite a lot to digest. It is quite a lot to take in. So for that reason, I want to go at a nice, a kind of, I suppose, very deliberate pace, just to kind of give you all that time to take everything in. But obviously, we want to make sure that we have everything wrapped up and let you go off your lunch at 12 o'clock. So a few bits of housekeeping just before we kick off. So if you are having any trouble viewing the webinar right at this moment, best thing to do is just to try refreshing your page straight away. If you'd like to join in on the instant chat today, which I really would recommend, we'd love to hear from you and get your kind of live feedback, your thoughts. You do need a YouTube account. And you can very easily set that up just even in a minute or two, actually, by clicking in the box on the right hand side there. We'll be pausing throughout the session as well at a number of different points to answer some of the more complex or kind of thematic questions that are coming up within the chat box. So please do feel free to fire away with your questions, and either myself or Annie will cover them off. Just to let you know as well, we are running this Google Digital Garage virtual training as part of a broader offering of courses in collaboration with the Irish SME Association. And if you would like to check out our schedule of upcoming webinar trainings, I think the next one is on December the 2nd, and that's going to be focusing all about search engine optimization, which is another incredibly important topic. So if you would like to check that out, please just see the information on that in the description below, which will link you through to the relevant website. Lastly, if you have any feedback from today's session, please do complete the feedback form, which is linked down below in the description box. And as a little, I suppose, bonus from that, once you complete that form, a link will appear for you to download a PDF of all of today's content. Really, really handy to have it. And we'll also keep the webinar live for you to rewatch for 24 hours. And as I said, I really would say the feedback is enormously valuable to all of us here, that we can make these sessions continuously better. And as I said, it can be as far ranging as from the content that we go through to how outrageous my lockdown haircut has become. Anything, we're happy to hear all of it. So that's the housekeeping done. Let's get into it. So we have a lot of great content to share today, but we first just wanted to acknowledge that we realize that for many of you who are listening in today, these days are not business as usual. In fact, they couldn't be further from it. And as all of us continue really to adapt to the COVID-19 pandemic across the globe, we understand that today's landscape is creating new challenges for you, your business, and for your customers as well. So while the challenges of each business are, of course, unique, we're all being impacted ultimately in the same way. And we want to know that we're here for you in that regard. And you can find more information about how Google is trying to help by visiting our company blog, and that's at blog.google. Many of you have reached out to us. I don't know if there's anyone out there who would have attended one of our sessions in the past. But many times we've heard that this training, this year is coming at a crucial time, a time when you out there yourselves are striving, I should say, to be helpful and relevant to your customers. So therefore, we'll continue to work hard as well to provide you with the content and the insights that you need to help keeping your business moving forward in incredibly tumultuous times. Now, one just important thing to call out here is that due to the current situation, not all the features of Google My Business are currently working as intended or as described. I won't mention individual features here as their status changes quite frequently, as you can imagine, just with everything being so volatile at this moment in time. But please do check in on our help center for the latest status updates. That's where you'll get the most up-to-date information. And I think Annie's going to share that link to that live in the chat box right now. And that's also something to call out, that throughout today's session, any of the most kind of salient points that we cover, or things to really note, or important links, Annie will throw them into in the chat box for you. All right, so it's fair to say there's a lot of uncertainty and a lot of challenges right now, but situations like this, is to remember, can also be a catalyst for a lot of good. And I think it's important, just before we get into the nitty-gritty stuff, that we remember that there's some really positive examples out there of how businesses have shifted their focus to either keep their business afloat, help the community, or both. I'm sure many of you have heard of Joe Wicks, the body coach, and how he really sort of pivoted and almost coined those online workouts, which is obviously tremendously helpful for anyone as well with kids out there. We also saw the likes of the Blind Pig in Dublin, a fine institution, moving and delivering cocktails to people directly to their door. The White Moose Cafe, another example, who, like so many restaurants, unfortunately, had to close down due to the first lockdown. They completely then changed how they went and operated their business, launching a brand new website, and offering effectively an online order service. And they also kind of had a little add-on as well of what they called the Moose Box outside their premises, where they could then just be a little bit more agile and through selling coffee and snacks and the likes. You also saw great stories around the Teeling Whiskey Company, and how they opened their distilleries for hand sanitizer production to really service the global need, which particularly in the first lockdown was tremendous, and a fine move from them. And then another big brand, which I'm sure many of you may have heard of, Gymshark, who tried to really hammer home the message of the importance of staying at home, but they actually changed their name for a time to Home Shark across all their social media, and they have a tremendous following, just to encourage people to really abide by those rules. So some positive stories there to keep in mind, and to remember that at a very, very difficult time for all of us, there are a lot of good things still happening. So we know that in every region affected by COVID-19, people are asking the following kind of questions consistently about individual businesses. Are they open? Simple as that. That's the main thing that people are looking for. Or are they open now that restrictions are being lifted? And obviously we have a specific use case here in Ireland where, touch wood, we'll find out on Friday for sure, but beginning of December, hopefully we should be moving out of level 5, and again, that's what's going to be front of mind for customers, particularly coming into the December period. Did your hours change? Do you offer, for example, special hours for certain members of the community? Could be healthcare professionals or vulnerable groups like the elderly. All of these things are very, very important. And also, do you offer an alternative to the normal method of going about business? So it could be through delivery, in-store pickup. Something, for example, in the US, which we've seen an enormous takeoff within, is curbside pickup, as they call it there, and it's really set aside businesses and set apart businesses who have communicated that through Google My Business and their other platforms, that they're, as I said, they're really expressing the versatility that they offer in allowing people to still do business with them. So it's very, very, very important. And so again, just in terms of showing up as correctly and as accurately as possible, that our research actually shows that over 90% of customers are looking for specific information about businesses when using search engines. And again, the things most commonly coming up are business hours, promotions, deals, and that sort of thing. So ultimately, in this session today, we want to cover with you how you can keep your customers up to date using Google My Business. So with that in mind, let's jump into today's agenda, where we will be looking at the three main things fundamentally. So what a business profile is on Google, how you as a business owner can use Google to provide customers with the information that they need right now at this moment in time, and also how you can use the tools that we have to continue engaging with the customers until the coast is clear once again. So we'll be covering all the very latest and greatest Google My Business features, because as I said, it is kind of changing all the time. So we will try, and we've tried to make this as up to date as possible. And a lot of like little new tweaks and features have been added for the COVID time specifically. So we'll try to cover them off for you as best we can. So I think it makes sense to start with the basics. Let's go back to exploring what is a business profile exactly on Google. Let's go back to search engines 101. Most of them work in the same way. When a person wants to find something, they type in a word or a phrase, and that's called a search query. Their goal as a search engine is to create the most relevant lists of results possible to help searchers find what they are ultimately looking for. The results page includes links to websites, but you might also see local business listings, items for sale, advertisements, images, maps, videos, and much more. The images at the top of the screen, as you can see there, are shopping ads in this particular case, and they're promoting products sold by online retailers. Text ads then can appear directly beneath that. So ads are paid placements, and that's very, very important to remember. Advertisers can compete against each other then for that reason, bidding in a real-time auction for the opportunity to show their ads on the search results page. Organic results appear at the center, in the center kind of well of the page as well. The section to the right, though, is what we're really focused on and interested in today. And it is an example of what a Google My Business profile looks like on the Google search results page. So you can see how the business details appear on this search, on that part of the page. And I suppose the key thing to note here is that creating a business profile on Google helps you to control the details that Google displays so that they're up to date and consistent across both search and on maps as well. Important again that it won't guarantee that your business will appear in the search results, but it can certainly help and go an awful long way to that end. Very, very important, particularly right now, as we alluded to before, and how customer behavior has changed really as a result of COVID-19, is that people are searching locally. And I know from working with businesses both in the UK and in Ireland that Google Trends shows us that searches for support local businesses, searches for shop near me, shop local, they're all surging, particularly as we come into this Christmas period. And I think something to be very bullish about is there is a very strong appetite, perhaps now more than ever, for people to really support their local community, support their local businesses once we come out of lockdown, and of course, once it's safe to do so. So that's very, very important in the context of this Google My Business conversation, that people are searching locally. There are billions of local searches made every month, and more than 30% of all mobile searches are related to location. So, amount of times that I can certainly say, searching for things like pizza near me, hairdressers near me, despite the absolutely shocking barnet that I'm rocking in the midst of lockdown. And so even though right now people definitely visit physical stores, of course, much less in person, making sure that your business appears correctly on maps can be very important for recovery from the current situation. So businesses with stores open to customers, they can appear on Google Maps. Google Business Profiles also helps searchers find businesses very, very nearby to them. Google Maps, on the other hand, now that considers other factors as part of the mix too. So that would include things like relevancy, distance, and prominence. So to quickly explain those, relevancy is how well a business profile matches a search. So if your profile is detailed and up to date, Google is much more likely to show it for relevant searches. Distance is exactly what it says on the tin. How close is the business to the searcher? or the area specified. And prominence is gauged by how well known the business is based on the information Google can find across the web. So that's actually ties in very, very neatly with the session next week on December the 2nd, which, as I said, is all around search engine optimization and how can you ensure that you're showing up as effectively across organic search. So another very good one to tune in on then. So businesses want their info to appear on any device when consumers are searching for them. That goes without saying. Another great feature of a business profile on Google specifically is that it works on all devices. So potential customers can find you no matter how they get online themselves. And that's particularly important because of the rise of mobile. And this is something which, will be no surprise to anyone listening in today. But as we know, smartphones have become an indispensable shopping tool, and many people rely on them to do their research, their initial research, as well as actually ultimately pulling the trigger and making a purchase. So over 40% of online transactions are now done on mobile, and I can assure you that figure is only going to accelerate over time. So let's have a little look at the anatomy of a business profile on Google and the different constituent parts. So when a shopper discovers your profile, the initial view they see is your business overview. They will find info about your business, like your address, contact info, opening hours, and more on top of that. You also have the ability to update and confirm your business hours, and we'll touch more on that in detail in just a few minutes' time. Photos and videos, so allow your customers to see your store and the products before visiting. Also a very, very important element and something that I'd really consider putting some time and effort into. Reviews allow customers to see what the community is saying about your business, and quick links as well. So that allows customers to call, request directions, save a profile, or ultimately to visit your website. So in this example, you can see at the time of this search, the pub was closed, which really stands out in red writing here, and a really useful feature for the customer just to plan around that. So we've spoken about showing up online with accurate info across all platforms and all devices, but why? Well, these are some of the reasons why it's so important, in fact, that your business is present on Google. So 3 out of 4 online customers search online to find a business. 7 out of 10 made a purchase from a business they found online. Over 30% of all mobile searches are related to location. So people are searching locally more and more, as we touched upon. And when users use Google search to find a business, they're normally searching at that moment with some sort of intent, and that's such an important word in the context of this. So it allows you to show your business right at the moment of that intent and capitalize on that. Every month, Google delivers millions of calls and directions to businesses all over the world. So right now, at a time when people can't call by and stop into the business, they turn to online. So it's more important now, more than ever, that you provide them with the information that they need so that they can rely on you. So we're going to pause for some questions very, very shortly. But just to kind of recap here, that there is 4 simple steps, as you can see on screen, to creating a Google My Business listing. It's about downloading the app first of all, or sign in to business.google.com. Add or select your business, enter your information, and then ultimately verify your listing. Those are the kind of the 4 fundamental steps, and then we'll go in a few more minutes into some of the additional details then beyond that. But as I said, I want to pause now, hopefully for a few questions. As I said, Annie, my partner in crime, is going to shoot a few of those forward. If there are any other ones that are kind of just springing to mind now as we go through, please, as I said, do pop them in there. Otherwise, as I said, we'll either get back to you directly in the chat itself, or can follow up subsequently. But I will tell you what we're going to do now is, just in the interest of time, what I think we might do is, I think Michael Foley, you had a question there around achieving a purple pin for your business on Google Maps. What we might do is I might get, the easiest thing I think is for Annie to share a link on that directly in terms of which actually goes through the step by step rather than me hashing it out here. But we can also perhaps come back to that later on. And as I said, don't rest assured, anyone else who has questions as we go forward, we're going to have another little block later on in the session to cover them off. So what I might do, as I said, in the interest of time, is I'll keep flying through for now. And as I said, we can any other things that are bubbling up for people, we'll cover them up in about 10 or 15 minutes time. So let's take a little look inside Google My Business itself, and to see how you can manage your business listing itself. And so we'll go into the nitty gritty of it here now. So before we dive into the specific features, I want to show you this guy here, which is your Google My Business dashboard. And this is what you'll see when you log in, and it's where you can view and manage your business information, such as posts, which we'll discuss, photos, opening hours, etc. In the middle section, you can see what information you provided when you first made the listing, and you can make changes by clicking the edit button or the info link and the little navigation pane that you can see on the side there. So again, very, very important to kind of constantly sense check this and edit and update as needed. As the business listing owner, you can also invite other people to help you manage the profile. And this is something that we would often come across on a very, very regular basis, in terms of different people wanting to have visibility within a business over what exactly is being shown online, and obviously different people wanting to feed in different ideas, or you may have different business functions internally who each want to feed into the overall mix. So you can, if you invite someone else, they will also have access to the Google My Business listing, but not to any other Google products you may be using, such as Gmail. So in other words, that person can't read your email. It would only be for Google My Business. To add an administrator specifically, you just want to click on users in the navigation pane on the left hand side. You want to click the people's icon at the top right. And now you can add in the different email addresses of the administrators that you want to invite. There's 4 levels, access levels, I should say, of within Google My Business. So there's the owner, that's you, unless you transfer the ownership to someone else. Co-owners, administrators, so they can do almost anything owners can except delete the listing ultimately or transfer ownership. So that's the distinction there. And communications administrators, and they have more limited access to the business listing, but could still be useful for kind of just routine day-to-day updates. Whenever you're done kind of assigning all of the different roles and perhaps adding in different people to the mix, click invite to send an email to the new administrators. And when they open the email and accept the invitation, you will see them listed then as an authorized administrator. So as an owner, you can revoke access to the business listing or transfer ownership as needed. We want to give then a summary of the different things that we recommend doing in COVID-19 times, specifically for individual businesses, in line with the different features of Google My Business. So 3 things here really: ensuring that you're providing up-to-date information about your business as the COVID situation continues to evolve, maintaining contact with your customers, and I can't stress how important that piece is. Discover information about your customers using insights, which will, I suppose, ultimately inform your future decisions, not just about the business, but also about your profile itself and the content that you provide. And we'll touch a little bit more on those insights in a few minutes' time. Google My Business has a number of different features, therefore, which will allow you to do all 3 of these things, and we're going to go through that in more detail right now. Unfortunately, as we know, many businesses have had to close for a time in the current situation, and I'm sure as many of you listening today who may have been in that very situation. But Google My Business has an easy tool to allow businesses to quickly mark themselves as temporarily closed to ensure customers have the most up-to-date information. And you can, of course, update or reverse that at any time. But as I said, something that Google kind of quickly pivoted on and introduced. Yeah, as I said, very, very relevant and important at this moment in time. So as we look forward to the Christmas period then coming up ahead and restrictions hopefully beginning to ease from the start of December, you might want to reopen a location that had been marked as either permanently or temporarily closed. So you can easily reopen a location in three simple steps, which are listed there up on screen. And as I said, there's also a handy support link which Annie might share in the chat box for you now as well, so you can have it handy. Business hours, incredibly important, and I want to touch upon a few extra sort of features that again have just been added here, and are important to be mindful of. So typically what we see is that 54% of local business searchers, I should say, want to find hours of business operation. So if your business has special hours throughout the year, so for holidays when you're closed, extended hours perhaps, you can also specify particular dates for that and help shoppers know when you're ultimately open for business. So keep your info fresh and updated is what I would say. And so customers can ultimately then choose your business with confidence and find accurate, specific info about the places and searches that they're interested in. New feature is that businesses can now set additional hours through what we're calling more hours for special features and services. So with more hours, you can give more detailed information to your customers about times for options such as delivery, drive-through, pickup, as we touched upon before. So just a couple of quick tips here to make note of is more hours is only kind of only display ultimately once you first set your regular hours. So it is very much an addition on top of that. So just make sure that you have your regular day-to-day ones set first, and then you can add in the more hours feature on top of that, and you can select the hours for specific services that you offer as well there. So if there is a distinction for perhaps between your kind of regular hours of operation, say when we come out of lockdown and you're open for business for people to come into the store, but then you perhaps have a dedicated period for delivery or for takeout outside of those times, you can actually specify that as well. So again, there is a help center article for more hours, which again just goes through. There's 7 to 8 very, very simple steps, which just give you the distinction between, as I said, setting your regular hours and then that new more hours feature. And again, I'll ask Annie to just drop that link in there for you all, so you can bookmark it if needed. Another useful feature, and something we touched upon previously, is posts, and this really ties in with the importance of staying up to date and I should say, or staying connected with your consumers at this moment in time. So you can effectively post live updates directly on your business profile, thus ensuring that people are seeing the very, very latest from your business and what you want people to know. So you can communicate in new ways with potential customers. You can share info, encourage reservations, promote an email newsletter, buy products, whatever it might be. So if your physical location is closed at this moment in time, but you're still operating an online or delivery service, for example, you can communicate this with your customers via these posts. Google launched also a new post type recently, a COVID-19 post, that allows you to highlight important current updates for the business. So that could be closures or reduced hours. It could be safety and hygiene practices, which you either are employing as a business yourself, or you're demanding of customers when they visit, and availability of gift cards, for example, to support your business at such a challenging time. So if the user follows your business profile, they'll be notified by email as well every time you post. So very, very effective way to get straight into the top of their inbox and front of mind for your customers. A new feature as well, which is that we've recently enabled certain businesses to add support links to their business profile. So these allow businesses to sell gift cards from their profile, which are redeemable once the business is open. So, I'll give you a quick example of one of my favorite restaurants, actually in the middle of Dublin City. Unfortunately, had to close during the first lockdown back in March, April, and they quickly pivoted then to delivery. But what they did, very, very nice touch, is just including a little card in the delivery bag of food, which is redeemable for a free drink when the restaurant opens back up again. So little things like that, and basically how do you translate that to an online equivalent? Well, this feature effectively solves for that. So if it's a case that you really want to maintain effectively that additional revenue stream now through gift cards or whatever it might be, which then people can redeem when the coast is clear, as we say, and times are back open. Well, this is what that solves for. There's also in specific use cases, you can also add donation links to get direct donations from customers through, for example, PayPal or GoFundMe. And a nice feature of this is that businesses can also share a personal message in their post to inform customers of how the funds will actually be specifically put to use. Again, which is a very, very nice touch just around that connection piece to your customers. So for a guide on how to add a gift card or a donation to your profile, there is again an article in our help center, which Annie will share for you, just so you have, as I said, prescriptive instructions on that. Just before we leave the whole posts topic, a few examples of how we can leverage them. So what's new posts or announcements, let's call them. There's just a post that provide general information about the business. So you can include a photo or video, link, call to action button, and other information. So announcement posts can be a great way to announce that your business reopens, for example, if it's closed right now. Event posts, so they emphasize a specific event that your business may organize. You can also include a call to action button and other information there. And just important to note that right now, it may not be the best time for event posts and events, but once the restrictions are lifted, this may be a good thing to restore your normal operations. Offer posts then, that they are ones that unsurprisingly, they provide promotional sales or offers from your business, and they require a title, a start and end date, and times as well. A view offer call to action button is automatically added to the post, and you can also include a photo, video, a coupon code, for example, a link, and terms and conditions if relevant too. And I suppose this is absolutely perfect for seasonal offers as well, which is obviously extremely relevant now coming into the holiday period. One more idea as well is that you can highlight, you can use posts, I should say, to highlight any important business info, which perhaps has just become relevant, just become applicable. It could be new procedures as a result of COVID, whatever it might be. But as you can see, very, very diverse tool. That you can employ it in a multitude, I should say, of different ways. Another way to help your profile stand out is by adding what we call attributes, and so they're effectively optional details about your business. So there's a wide range of attributes that you can include in there. Examples would be what payment types you accept, whether gift wrapping is available, obviously extremely relevant coming into up to Christmas, whether the location is wheelchair accessible, if the business identifies, for example, as LGBTQ friendly, Black owned, woman led, anything like any distinguishing features like that that you want to call out. What type of ambience as well people can expect. Is it casual? Is it more formal? Those can all be specified with attributes. I suppose most important ones right now, again, delivery and pickup attributes, and calling out really as loudly as possible whether your business offers that flexibility to customers. So the attributes that you select may be visually highlighted in search results, and that will help your business obviously stand out even more. And I would just say check back regularly to see if additional attributes are available for your profile, because it's one of the features that I suppose gets updated most frequently. The final one here on the attributes piece to call out is, again, a COVID specific tweak that's been added, and those are health and safety attributes. So if your business is in food, retail, service industry, you can add attributes to let customers know about safety measures that are in place for your business. So those attributes include masks required for customers or staff, temperature checks required, or appointments or reservations required, in advance. So again, very if it is applicable, and if you do have the option of adding it for your business, I would definitely 100% recommend calling those health and safety attributes out. What about photos? What about the visual element? Goes without saying that adding them can help your profile stand out on Google. But please note that photos can be added by both the business itself, by you, but also by your customers. And again, tagged photos on Facebook or on Instagram or any sort of other publicly viewable place can be a great source of examples here and a source of content for you to use. And a few ideas for how you might want to employ the photos piece is showing how your product is made or packaged or shipped. And particularly, I suppose, in these COVID times, you might want to give a tour of your space itself. It could be the actual retail outlet, it could be the manufacturing facility, whatever it might be, but just allows people to get that insider look and feel a bit closer to the business. Or you might want to highlight a specific employee. Again, a lovely, personable, human touch as well. Connecting with your customers then, and again, I can't stress that this has probably never been a more important feature of Google My Business than right now. So you have the option to read and respond to reviews about your business, which are published on Google. Each time you respond, the customer who left the review is notified by email and an app notification as well, if applicable. So it's a great way, goes without saying, to engage with your customers in a brand new way. Negative reviews is something that I want to cover, and it is it's something that we often get asked about in terms of what is the best strategy really for that. So it's good. I suppose the most important thing to bear in mind is that it's good to still respond to negative reviews as well as the positive ones. And I would really just focus on getting to the bottom of what the pain point was, providing more information if applicable, and just ultimately connecting with even a disgruntled customer can hopefully resolve the negative experience. And really, you want to show and demonstrate balance by responding to not just the positive, but also the less positive reviews as well. In terms of the messaging feature then, Google My Business allows you to chat directly with customers from the Google My Business app. Responding to customers can help you answer their questions, can help you tell your business a story, keep people engaged, and especially right now, it's another useful link while your business may be closed. you can still, as I said, keep in touch and keep that engagement level up with your customer base, particularly if it's a local based business. You want to make sure that you provide a phone number that can receive SMS messages and will be readily accessible for responding to customer queries as they come in. And at the moment, it's also a good idea to think about an automated response too, which might allow you to automatically answer some of the most frequently asked questions if you are tending to get the same things over and over again. This is so yeah, in terms of the website side of things, if there's a way to create a website at no extra cost right now, that's going to be unequivocally a very, very good thing. So it's a really great starting point really to being online, and Google My Business in many ways is perfect for small businesses who perhaps don't have an online presence yet. And I'm conscious that there may be some of you within ISME that haven't taken that step yet, or are perhaps very much just in the early stages of kind of dipping your toe in the water on the online space. So you can actually create a website with Google My Business, and it takes only about 5 minutes. In fact, there's 3 simple steps to creating one with Google My Business. You click on website from your Google My Business dashboard. Once you do this, Google My Business will pull the info from your profile to generate the website. So a nice automatic touch there. You have the option to customize some elements of the site, so the theme, text, photos, and such. And when you're ready to go live, you just click the publish button. Those websites also come with a URL and hosting at no extra charge. You can customize your website address by entering the first part of the domain name. So it will automatically be followed by .business.site. So if you entered, for example, Stasia's Bakery, your website address would be stasias-bakery.business.site. Alternatively, you can also register your own domain name if you have one, but that option is not free, and you'll need to register the domain through Google Domains. So just important to call that out. If you already registered a domain name, even with a registrar other than Google, you can use it for your new Google site too. Important point around phone numbers here as well. Every month, Google, as we touched upon, delivers hundreds and millions of calls and directions to businesses all over the world based on predominantly local searches. So if you want your users to be able to get in touch with you via phone, make sure your number is present and up to date. Very, very simple advice, but couldn't be more important. And as businesses navigated the reopening process earlier this summer in Ireland after the original lockdown, research found that consumers were increasingly picking up the phone far more than they did before, and calls to businesses from Google My Business specifically were up 61% during the pandemic. So as I said, incredibly important to focus on this piece right now. Consumers are increasingly calling businesses to inquire about things like hours of operations, safety procedures, what offerings do you have online? And Google My Business is actually often the first point of contact. When someone goes onto Google search, they see that listing neatly on the right-hand side. That's often what people go for. So being a small business owner, you should ensure that your Google My Business page is up to date with all of the necessary up-to-date relevant information, and doing so will ultimately help you to offer a better customer experience. One of my personal favorite features of Google My Business is the ability to book appointments directly from your business profile. For example, it's so much more convenient, say during work hours, the ability to just quickly do a quick search for a business through Google My Business, I should say. Go through the online booking functionality. Could be for whatever appointment. It could be for a restaurant or a cafe booking when things are back open. But just be able to do that directly through the site saves you that little bit of time. Perhaps you're at work, or you can't really take a phone call at that particular moment in time. just that bit of versatility is extremely appreciated by customers, and as I said, just reduces that friction ultimately to getting more bookings. And in fact, 1 out of 2 customers want to schedule an appointment when searching for a business online. Google actually works with third-party scheduling software providers to enable online booking through Google Search, Maps, and also Reserve with Google, which is proprietary. And customers find and book services by tapping the book button. There are many third-party integrations as well, just to be aware of. So, for example, if your businesses utilize Full Slate, Mindbody, Appointee, Booksy, Schedulicity, OpenTable, many of these you may have heard and used yourself when booking with other businesses. You can sign up with one of our booking partners, and you can quickly track how many bookings you get from your Google listing dashboard. Many people are giving users the option to make bookings for the future, which is something to think about if you operate a booking service. And again, that's one that I really want to call out and emphasize. Right now, people are really looking for something to look forward to. Hope and reassurance are consistent themes that we're seeing in terms of what consumers are searching for and are looking for. So if you are closed at this moment in time or heavily affected by the lockdown, but you know that in December, touch wood, we'll be out of it and opening back up, and giving customers, as I said, either that ability to book already for a future appointment, or to at least buy, for example, a gift card from you or something to keep you going, which they can then redeem later in once you are in fact back open. It's incredibly important. Insights then, and utilizing these to ultimately kind of inform what content we share on Google My Business, and in fact inform other wider business decisions in certain cases as well. And this is something that I just want to focus on, because it is an incredibly powerful part of the tool. Insights ultimately show you how people found your business profile on the web, and then ultimately how they interacted with it too. So it shows you how many customers found you in direct search. In other words, they search for your business name or address, versus a discovery search. In other words, they search for a category, a product, or a service, and your profile then appeared. Search queries show you the queries used to find your business on Google. Just to note that that's available only on web and not on the app. Where customers found you on Google, so through Google Search or Google Maps. Customer actions then, what searchers did once they found your profile on Google. So the actions include visiting your website, requesting directions, calling you, viewing photos, and the like. You also see direction requests. So you'll see your location pinned on the map, and a heat map that shows the most popular places from which people ask Google Maps for driving directions to your address. The total number of requests broken down by city or neighborhood are displayed as well. So again, very useful for pinpointing, okay, where is the majority of my customer base actually traveling to my physical location from. In terms of phone calls, you'll be able to see when and how often searchers called your business via the Google Business Profile. And you can view trends by, for example, day of the week, time of day, and so forth. And photos then, the number of photos associated with your profile, how often they're viewed compared to photos of businesses similar to yours. So you can have a nice little benchmarking exercise there. And then the information you gather about your customers now through all of those different insights features, that will obviously help to inform the future decisions you make about the business and as I said, about your profile. In terms of the importance really then of having a complete profile, I think a useful example here is if you think of LinkedIn. I'm sure many of you are big users of it. Cheeky plug, if you want to connect with me, please feel free to do so. I'm more than happy to have a chat about whatever is on your mind. But if you ever go on to either your own profile, as was the case with me up until not so recently, up until quite recently, or you go on to someone else's profile and it's just very, very incomplete, very, very out of date. It's considerably less reassuring, I suppose, and it really reduces the chance that you're actually going to interact and feel confident in your interaction with that particular profile, with that particular person. So the same principle applies to Google My Business. You're actually twice as likely to be considered reputable. You're roughly 40% more likely to attract actual visitors. You're 30% more likely to get a purchase ultimately. And overall, you would expect to see around 7x more clicks to your website if you are showing, as I said, an accurate, complete, and full profile. So if there was ever a time to really work on this and make it look really good, it's now. Great. So in that section, we covered the 3 main tips that we have for businesses, specifically in COVID-19 times. That's namely keeping your customers as up to date as possible, keeping your customers engaged, even if the business is closed right now, and use that insights feature and all of the data behind it to understand where your customers are coming to you from, what actions they are taking, and so forth, and then help you make decisions off the back of that. As I said, the advantage and the beauty really in many ways of Google My Business is that that can help you do all 3 of those things in one fell swoop within the platform. So now I think we're going to take a few more questions. So as I said, if there is any final ones there, this will be our final kind of question block, and then we're going to take it to the close. So if there is any final questions, burning questions, do throw them in there, and either Annie can forward them on to me on the system here, or she can try and answer them. I can try and answer them myself, I should say. I think there was one there from Claire Vaughan, in terms of asking, can you set business updates with the likes of Hootsuite and other sort of social media integration platforms? And the answer to that is yes. And you there's a very, very simple way to basically link Hootsuite in with GMB, and I believe Annie has shared the link within that from Hootsuite itself, the Hootsuite blog, I should say. I think she shared that with you, but please do flag it, Sarah, if we haven't got to that yet. I think there was one more from Dermot. Dermot Crowley was asking, is there a point in adding products if all products are already on the website? Yeah, it's a good question, Dermot. My simple answer there would be, we spoke about utilizing tools such as even like the photos side of things to really give people a flavor of what the business is about. It could be, as I said, through the actual physical location itself, or it could be the actual products themselves. So of course, the website itself is going to always be your primary listing point for the full product suite. But if there's products there which are particularly representative or indicative of what your business is all about, or what the business wants to be associated with during COVID-19 times, I would 100% have them front and center within Google My Business itself. So again, there's a myriad of different ways to do that. It could be through the photo section, it could be through posts, but I definitely, even if it's not the full product range, just if you have any sort of hero products, for lack of a better word, those ones very, very important to call them out and to have them front and center, because ultimately that's what's going to drive the remaining traffic to your actual website itself, where then the full product offering becomes visible. So that would be really my thoughts on that. I'm seeing that we've got a lot of kind of how-to questions which came through, which again, Annie, being the rock star that she is, covered off. But with that, and I think we're just nicely within time, so I'll bring us then to the close. I think important really just to say that whatever your current business status is, you still have the possibility to keep your customers up to date, engaged, and informed. And there's no better way to do that than with Google My Business. If you don't have an account already, I would say use this time to get set up so you are ready to go when things go back to normal. And if you already have a profile, again, just make sure it is up to date and as complete as possible so that users can really rely and have a lot of confidence in the information you provide right now. And then you're ready to really capitalize when things do ultimately go back to normal. So everyone, that largely concludes things for today. We're going to wrap it up here. Just as I said, we're just neatly under the hour mark. I hope that has been a useful dive into Google My Business for you today. I just want to reference that if you are interested in more training from the Google Digital Garage series, there's a few ways which you can continue learning. So we are running more of these webinars in different subjects in direct collaboration with the Irish SME Association. And as I said, they're provided at no charge to ISME members. So if you'd like to check out the schedule of webinars, please please see, I should say, the information which is down in the description below. And there'll be different topics available to watch. And we'll be updating that schedule quite regularly. As I said, the next one I believe is on December 2nd, where another one of my colleagues will be running through search engine optimization with you. So again, a very, very relevant topic for right now and a very, very interesting topic. If you'd like to carry on learning in your own time, you can check out the Google Digital Garage website for more online training courses, and those are available, of course, to you 24/7. And finally, as I said at the very top of the show today, if you do have any feedback, we really would love to hear it on anything at all that we've covered off today. And again, important to remember that a PDF, once you've filled out that feedback, a PDF link to the slides will appear once this is complete. Just a very, very quick one before I go. We've had one final question come through. Burn JW, is it possible to replace in-store shopping with local pickup? Again, 100%. In terms of just, and again, that's where I would really leverage that attributes feature to really just call out, as I said, if it is a case that you're no longer in a position to offer the in-store shopping, or maybe just for the remainder of the lockdown. 100% you can specify and make it very, very clear that, look, we are only offering local pickup right at this moment in time. And again, I would use both the kind of the more formal features as in the attribute section, but I would also use things like the posts and the more immediate kind of update pieces to throw an email directly into your customer's inbox to inform them that, look, it's just local pickup that we're offering right now. So guys, with that, I would like to thank you all for joining today. As I said, it's been an absolute pleasure for me and for us at Google to partner with ISME. And thank you for Adam. Thank you, Adam, as well, for kicking us off today and for his kind words at the top of the call. And we look forward to welcoming you back again to another one of our webinars very, very soon. All the best. Mind yourselves and have a great Christmas ahead.